Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is September 3rd, 2021, and today is Friday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the US dollar continues to weaken versus the major pairs as we go into the NFP today. And speaking of which, major economic events scheduled for today, NFP at 2:30 South African time. As we look at the various markets, we're going to recircle back to the dollar as it continues to weaken versus the major pairs. As we look at the indices, the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones both tapering off. In terms of commodities, gold and oil pretty much unchanged. And in terms of the stocks, they take a breather, a little bit of a retracement there. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin rallies to the top of that range at 50,000 and then retraces. Really great trade of the week. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trade. Just to reiterate, today, Monday, will be a national holiday in the United States, Labor Day, so the markets in the U.S. are closed. So both the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, and the stocks will not be trading. However, the USD Euro will be trading, so just be aware of that. But I don't expect any massive moves expected on that day because it's lighter volume as the markets are going into vacation mode for the last time before fall session starts. And September is also a major month for rollovers. Okay, all those commodities and the indices that have expiration, the future contracts, they do expire in September and move to December, so just be aware of it. Now we're heading close. If we look at we're looking here at the Euro USD at a daily chart, we're heading very close to this 1890-ish level, which is bona fide resistance. And this extension of this rally has continued. If you look at a 4-hour chart, you could see that it kept on extending it, kept on extending it. There was nothing to stop us. Now we are getting close to that congested area at 1890-ish level right before this NFP number. So it's a kind of interesting that that's actually happening all together. Now looking at the Aussie USD, of massive correction there on the upside. The Aussie dollar was always the strongest one out of the three between the Euro, the GBP, and the Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar was a strong one, usually was the one that actually was the one that kept above the 8-day moving average if you look at it. Now looking at the GBP, also busted up to 138. That's a first for quite some time. And even the USD Rand continued to strengthen here down to 1430-ish level before jumping up. So with that said, going into this number, I wonder if this is just a rally before the number and then a correctional move that's going to happen afterwards. Now looking at gold and oil, not much doing here. 1812, we're going to pin in a very tight range for gold this week, and oil pumping up to $70 and then staying within that range since then. Okay, I did rally yesterday at $2, which was nice, and then just tapering off here. Okay, so this has really seen a complete turnaround from the beginning of the week. Okay, the beginning of the week we had this sell-off. Where was it? Let's just bring it up. No, we had this gap up this beginning of the week because of Hurricane Ida. We retraced down to $67 and then rallying to 70. So it's been a nice range for the price of oil, but a little bit difficult to trade because it's not really trading in a range. It's kind of like just at the end of the exhaustion of the move, we had this correctional move on the downside and then, all the way up. So a little bit of a hard trade this week because it didn't really honor that 30-day moving average either. So that's something to relate to. And maybe because of some of the surplus and some of the volatility this week was more news-based than anything else. Let's jump to the indices. The Nasdaq first. Okay, Nasdaq holding relatively strong here at 15,600-ish level. Not that much off from its all-time highs. When we look at the Dow Jones, did sell off yesterday quite aggressively from 35,500 to 35,250-ish level and then jumping above it. Okay, so we're right smack in the middle of that move between our upper and lower limit here. And so with that said, going to today's number, I'd like to think that it'll rally, but I'm not sure, okay? Because if we look at the individual stocks, you saw some money being taken off the table. Specifically, Apple was a little bit of a retracement, but more so by Microsoft and Facebook, you saw a little bit more of an aggressive selling here, okay? Not major, okay? It's not turning around. It's not going to be a bloodbath, but it is retracing. Okay, so just be aware of it, especially when we get to these type of levels. It always makes me a little bit uncomfortable to say that we're changing character. Okay, but there is money being pulled off the table right now. Looking at Alcoa also did take some money off of it as we hit that whole time high for the year. Okay, on Alcoa, that's an amazing correction. Remember, just last week we were saying, wow, it hit $37 a share, and so within the week it went up $10. Okay, so that's some volatility in the market. You're seeing that volatility actually start, and you're seeing that the bulls are really taking charge here. Now, lastly, looking at Amazon, also took a little bit of a breather as well as it hit that 3,500 mark. Now, that is a resistance mark as well. Like, jump into Bitcoin. All right, this is where it's at. And this was the beautiful move this week. Okay, this was like a layup. This is free money. Right here was your buy. 46,600-ish level. Did rally to 50,000. Beautiful move. Okay, within that move, that is a bona fide buy, as we called this out. Okay, so if you did take advantage of it, good for you. Now we are in congested area here at 50,000, so just be aware of that this, if it does retrace and doesn't hold itself back, it might retrace further. So something to consider also going into today, because Bitcoin has really been becoming the new gold. Okay, if you look, it's really every time the markets goes down, Bitcoin actually goes up. So it's kind of interesting that it's taking that limelight. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day, a beautiful weekend. God bless. Thank you.